Max Verstappen's experience at the Hungarian Grand Prix did not unfold in the best possible way, and his performance during the post-race conference reflected this as well. Some of the remarks and reactions from the event are now raising concerns, especially as it becomes evident that Verstappen no longer possesses the fastest car on the grid. There are signs that he might revert to his pre-championship winning mindset, where his primary focus was on staying ahead, often at the expense of consideration for other drivers. Given this perspective, there is growing speculation about whether we might witness an increase in collisions involving Verstappen due to his emotional state. The pressing question is whether the FIA might need to step in to address and possibly mitigate such situations. One of the most visibly frustrated drivers at the Hungarian Grand Prix was undoubtedly Max Verstappen, considering the significant upgrade package that his team brought to the race, and yet his inability to secure a position on the front row during qualifying. It's understandable why a champion of his caliber would be consistently displeased with his car's performance. This situation might very well indicate that Verstappen is feeling the burden of carrying the team, especially since his teammate Perez appears to be in vacation mode following his recent signing of a 2-year contract. Although Perez had a commendable race in Hungary, the reality remains that Verstappen is the one primarily shouldering the team's success, a fact that is widely acknowledged and difficult to contest. From the onset of the race, Verstappen was compelled to engage in a maneuver he generally dislikes, relinquishing a position he believed he had gained legitimately. Despite overtaking Norris outside the track boundaries, Verstappen was agitated when instructed to give the position back. His frustration was palpable when he communicated over the radio, "Okay, so you can just drive people off the track, then tell the FIA that that's how we're going to race the whole race." This level of frustration is unexpected from a 3-time world champion who has won 62 races and secured over 100 podiums. One might anticipate that someone of his stature would remain composed and focused on advancing to better positions. It was evident to Verstappen that his car lacked the capability to challenge for victory, but a podium finish seemed within reach. This was until he attempted a risky move on Hamilton, nearly causing a collision that could have taken both drivers out of the race. This incident was reminiscent of the 2021 Monza event, where Venn's car ended up perched atop Hamilton's. Hamilton described the incident as a racing incident, acknowledging that he saw Verstappen approaching from a distance. Hamilton elaborated, "He was able to brake later than I could, but he sent it up on the inside. I stayed put and he clipped my wheel and went over, so I think it was a racing incident, but if you were to ask Verstappen, he would probably have a different opinion." The incident has attracted the attention of both drivers and the FIA, prompting the governing body to summon the two champions for a debriefing to discuss the matter. However, this is unlikely to satisfy Verstappen, who has been in a state of open discontent, not just with his competitors, but also with his team and race engineer over strategy decisions. It's as if he has forgotten that the same strategy team played a crucial role in his P2 finish at the previous race in Silverstone, where he could have easily finished outside the top 5. In his post-race debrief, Verstappen's comments were notably harsh. He remarked, "I got stupid comments back on the radio instead of admitting the strategy wasn't ideal, which could have calmed me down. They were arguing with me. We couldn't keep up with McLaren at all. It wasn't good. It's difficult to predict what the future holds, but at the moment we are too slow." During the third stint of the race, when Verstappen was advised to conserve his tires for potential overtakes on Lear and Hamilton, both of whom had successfully undercut him with a better strategy, his response to his race engineer Lamb was notably disrespectful. Verstappen retorted, "No, don't give me that stuff now. You guys gave me the effing strategy. Okay, I'm trying to rescue what's left, for God's sake." This statement alone illustrates that even in frustration, a champion's emotions should not escalate to such a point, especially towards those who have significantly contributed to previous successes. As a champion, one aspires to have the best car on the grid, and when that isn't the case, a driver's skill and racing craft become paramount in extracting the maximum performance from the car. This is precisely what Verstappen has been doing since Miami, and it is an achievement no one can take away from him. However, the collision with Hamilton at Turn 1 has undoubtedly sparked controversy. Yet again, Verstappen opted not to take responsibility, instead placing blame on Hamilton, whom he accused of moving under braking, an action Verstappen himself was criticized for in Austria. Commenting on the incident, Verstappen stated, "I don't care about the critics. I got a lot of stuff thrown at me in Austria with people saying moving under braking, blah blah blah. I'm positioning my car for the initial movement and then I keep it straight. Today, under braking, Hamilton just kept turning to the right, and that's why I also locked up. I was going for the move, but I saw the car on the outside keep coming at me, otherwise we would have already crashed. I had to stop the car, so that's why I locked up." Many experts have argued that there was little Hamilton could have done differently. He was taking a corner, leaving a car's width, and Verstappen was not ahead of Hamilton. so he did not have the right to execute the maneuver he attempted at that particular corner. Regardless, Ven's feelings have been communicated to the media, and there is a risk that he might spiral out of control if the RB20 continues to underperform. In previous years, Ven remained relatively calm, primarily because there were no significant competitors to challenge him. He often made additional pit stops towards the end of races to set the fastest lap, but now that those days are gone, Ven seems to have reverted to his old habits of aggressive and reckless driving, primarily due to his inability to control his emotions. In the past 3 races, Ven has been involved in 2 incidents that resulted in a loss of positions. Fortunately for him, both incidents were not severe enough to force a race retirement. On both occasions, he finished P5, but in Austria, Norris sustained terminal damage and could not complete the race, which could have closed the gap in the championship standings significantly. The current situation at Red Bull Racing is less than optimal, especially with their rival McLaren recently achieving a victory that included locking out the front row in qualifying. This impressive performance from McLaren has put pressure on the Austrian team to reassess their strategy for the rest of the season. Team principal Ven has voiced his concerns regarding the underperformance of their car, especially considering the anticipated improvements that were expected to boost their performance. The atmosphere within Red Bull is becoming increasingly tense as there is a growing sense of unease about their prospects for the remainder of the season. Ven has emphasized the need for certain team members to wake up and put more focus on the development of the car to ensure that they can remain competitive in the fiercely competitive world of Formula One. It is clear that Red Bull Racing must regroup and come up with a plan to address their current challenges and strive for success in the upcoming races. As we approach the midpoint of the season, McLaren has undoubtedly made significant strides in their development, putting them in a favorable position in the competitive landscape of Formula One. The entrance of Mercedes into the title chase, along with Ferrari's improvements in addressing their bouncing issues, has added even more pressure on Red Bull to maintain their lead in both the Constructors' and Drivers' Championships. With a 51-point lead currently in the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull cannot afford to become complacent, especially with just 1 race left before the summer break. While Max Verstappen holds a substantial 76-point lead in the Drivers' Championship, it is clear that the margin for error is slim. A minor incident, like the one seen in Hungary or Austria, combined with some luck on the side of McLaren's Lando Norris, could completely alter the course of the championship battle. It is a precarious position for Red Bull to be in as the competition is fierce and any misstep could prove costly. The pressure is on for the team to maintain their momentum and continue performing at the highest level if they hope to hold on to their lead in both championships. The second half of the season promises to be just as intense and thrilling as the first, with the title race far from being decided. As Ven faces the challenge of managing his emotions and proving his racing skills against the rest of the grid, there are many factors at play that could impact his performance. While he has shown great racecraft and sportsmanship in recent years, the shift in the performance of the RB20 compared to its predecessors, the RB18 and RB19, raises questions about the effect of personnel changes and disagreements over car components. The departure of key team member Newey and the ongoing issues with car components have shifted the once dominant RB cars into more of a midfield contender. Despite these challenges, Ven's exceptional driving abilities have been a saving grace for the team, allowing them to still be competitive. The pressure is on for Ven to continue to adapt and evolve in order to stay ahead of the competition and prove that he has what it takes to succeed in the highly competitive world of racing. It is indeed ironic that Red Bull has decided to extend their partnership with Helmut Marko until 2026, as this move indicates a potential solidification of Ven's seat with the team. However, it is important to note that Ven is a seasoned and talented driver who is always seeking the best possible car to challenge his competitors. In recent seasons, Mercedes has proven to be a formidable opponent, consistently rolling out upgrades that have kept Ven at bay and prevented him from dominating on tracks where he was expected to perform well. As a 3-time world champion, Ven must now carefully consider his future with the Austrian squad. Will he continue to strive for success with Red Bull, trusting in their ability to provide him with a competitive car? Or will he look elsewhere for new opportunities that may better suit his aspirations and skill set? Only time will tell as Ven weighs his options and decides on the best path forward in his illustrious racing career. In light of the numerous factors at play, it is hard to deny that Ven's emotions may indeed be getting the best of him. With the added pressure of leading the Drivers' Championship, it is understandable that he may not be thinking as clearly as he should be while on the track. This could potentially lead to more instances of reckless driving and ultimately more collisions. It is crucial for Ven to find a way to control his emotions and channel them in a constructive way. Perhaps seeking guidance from his team or a sports psychologist could help him better manage the pressure and stress that comes with being a competitive racer. Additionally, practicing mindfulness techniques or engaging in relaxation exercises may also assist in keeping his emotions in check. Ultimately, it will be interesting to see how Ven navigates these challenges and whether he can find a balance between his emotions and his performance on the track. Do you think Ven will be able to overcome this obstacle and continue to excel in the Drivers' Championship? Share your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to keep an eye on the upcoming races to see how Ven's emotional state may impact his performance.